Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today for the Johns Hopkins School of Education STEM and Mathematics Instructional Leader Pre-K-6 virtual webinar. My name is Sion John. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions at the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Also presenting today, we have Professor and Faculty Lead, Dr. Stephen Pape. And then before we get started, I would like to cover a few housekeeping topics. First, today's webinar is being recorded. We will be able to share a link with you after the event is complete. Second, please have your mic on mute during the presentation. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Please type your question in the chat box and we will be sure to answer your questions. So for today's agenda virtual webinar, we will kick off the presentation sharing an overview of the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Then Dr. Pape will introduce himself and go over the program details of the STEM and Mathematics Instructional Leader Pre-K-6 graduate certificates. Lastly, I'll wrap it up with admissions requirements and leave the floor open for questions at the end. And to start off, we are one of 9 schools at Johns Hopkins University. We began offering college courses for teachers in 1909 and then became our own school in 2007. We offer more than 30 graduate programs, which includes doctoral, master's, and graduate certificate programs. And we are very proud to share that the Johns Hopkins School of Education is consistently ranked one of the top schools in education by the U.S. News and World Report. And more quick facts, we have approximately 2,465 enrolled. Like I mentioned, over 30 graduate programs offered on campus and online, and a very strong network of 22,000 alumni at the School of Education. And then at this time, I'm going to hand the floor over to Dr. Pape. He is going to introduce himself and present on the graduate certificates in STEM and Mathematics Instructional Leader Pre-K-6.
So hi, Kirsten. As we spoke a little while ago, my name is Stephen Pape, and I'm the faculty lead for the Mathematics and STEM Instructional Leadership programs. My background, my research is in technology-enhanced classroom contexts. And more recently, I've been looking at online teaching and learning, especially for math teachers. So I'm presently on what's called the Association of Mathematics Teacher Educators online task force to support faculty in moving our math ed programs online. As I said a moment ago, my focus really has been in middle schools, and I've done a lot of professional development work with teachers in multiple states, as well as at the community college level. So just to give a program overview, there are 6 courses in this certificate for 18 credits. Typically, students take 2 courses per semester, and we are fully online. And one of the things that I'm very proud of at Hopkins is the course design for all of our courses. So while they're online, people have really talked about the way that they can get engaged within our courses, and the faculty members that teach within our program are highly experienced content experts, both in education as well as in the STEM areas. And I don't think this applies to you, but the endorsement for Maryland teachers only is as an instructional leader. So the focus of our courses are really around supporting individuals to serve as that instructional leadership within their schools in either mathematics or STEM. The course delivery is all asynchronous, although there are some synchronous opportunities. Sometimes there's small group work that might be synchronous, or one of the faculty members might have a synchronous session in order to better connect with students, but also to explain course material, etc. A lot of our work is interactive, either in groups or individual, and I'll show you some of those activities that we do in the courses. Our focus really is on problem-based learning, where you develop the skills to analyze and support problem solving both within yourself as well as with your students. So here's one quote from a student who recently completed the program. And she really talked about the hands-on training that she received within this program. The small class sizes she felt was an important aspect of the program, as well as the combination of the synchronous and asynchronous sessions. So it's interesting, some folks think that online learning does not allow you to join the community of learners. And we've really worked hard within our program to allow for this community of learners to become established. Part of our course design is really looking at, I've had some work in terms of my scholarship, in terms of the structure of courses. So we are very, very deliberate about the way we structure our courses. A lot of the courses, every session starts with session objectives that you can see here for one session in one of the courses. And then students are typically engaged in some kind of an activity, whether that be going out to another site, such as the FET site, which is out of Boulder, Colorado. And there are simulations that we use. And one of the things that I think is really powerful about this is that students get to engage with the mathematics or the science as they are going through the courses. So a typical course starts with some kind of activity, a typical session, excuse me, starts with some kind of activity and then has some reading and then some discussion among the class members in order to understand the concepts that we are engaging with. And this focuses both on the content, such as this simulation on atoms and elements in the physical science course, but also on the pedagogy. So how do we teach, not only in the face-to-face context, but more and more we are talking a little bit more about the online context, especially in today's age of COVID. Each session typically has an activity, and here's one example from, again, the physical science course, where students are asked to build a roller coaster and think about the energy within that system and Newton's 3 laws of physics. So you might be asked to do something either at home by yourself or with your students, depending upon when you're taking the course, and to reflect upon how that activity supported either your own learning, because content learning is part of this program, or your students' learning. So you might reflect on how students engaged with an activity that we've assigned in the course. And here we're going to hear from one of the course instructors, and it's a brief video. This is Dr. Sarah Donaldson, who teaches two of our courses.
My name is Dr. Sarah Donaldson. I'm excited to have the opportunity to introduce you to 2 of the program courses, Advanced Methods in the Elementary STEM Classroom and Instructional STEM Leadership and Professional Development in Elementary School Settings. When developing these 2 courses, I combined my background as a classroom teacher, curriculum developer, instructional coach, and professional development coordinator in both elementary and middle schools with my current work as an adjunct faculty member at both Johns Hopkins University and Roger Williams University in Rhode Island to design courses aimed at promoting active, collaborative learning around both current research and practical applications to the professional context of course participants. The development of these two STEM-focused courses supports my ongoing professional learning and research around facilitating authentic student engagement in online learning contexts and promoting educators' ability to engage in critical colleagueship and promote equitable access to high-quality, meaningful STEM, mathematics, and science learning opportunities for diverse students. The advanced methods in the elementary STEM classroom course will deepen your knowledge of and efficacy with problem-based, student-centered instructional approaches to promoting student learning. Using a mirror, window, and door metaphor as a base, course assignments, discussions, and activities will center on creating opportunities to engage in critical thinking, reasoning, and sense-making around personally meaningful problems by recognizing and drawing upon individual and community assets and resources. Coursework will culminate in the development of a unit plan that will promote equitable access by helping diverse students in your professional context see themselves reflected in STEM contexts, recognize STEM-related issues and problems around them, and take an active role in creating positive change in their world. The Instructional STEM Leadership and Professional Development in Elementary School Settings course will further develop your ability to promote mathematics and STEM equity by increasing your knowledge of effective STEM professional development and curriculum development. Work in this course will center on using case studies to promote individual and contextual reflection, to help you apply emerging knowledge of theoretical and historical perspectives of professional development and their relationship to effective STEM teaching and learning. Your final course project will provide an opportunity for you to act as an instructional leader as you create an action plan proposal aimed at advocating for equitable access to STEM learning experiences within your context for diverse students and their teachers. Throughout both courses, various technologies will be used to promote interaction and deepen knowledge development through collaborative discourse, creative problem solving, and active meaning making. I hope to have the opportunity to engage in learning with you through these courses in the near future as part of the Hopkins learning community.
So as I said, that's Dr. Sarah Donaldson, and she teaches two of our courses, and I'll talk about those courses in a little bit more detail in a moment. So in order to come into the program, although we've relaxed this a little bit, we expect students to have 18 months of pre-K through grade 6 teaching. If you do not have that, please let me know, and we can talk about the possibility of still coming to the program. We seek teachers who are looking to become leaders within their buildings or districts to support other teachers to teach in the elementary school setting in mathematics and STEM more deeply. So you really learn how to be a curriculum developer and a supervisor of teachers, and as I said, an instructional leader. Oftentimes, school districts place a premium on teachers who are proficient in STEM subjects and have the knowledge and skill to integrate STEM concepts in their lessons. And so we know that this is really important for especially early elementary schools, where the foundations of these core and gateway courses are being established. The course, there are 3 core courses that everybody takes within the program. And then there are 2 content-specific courses, either for science or for mathematics. And then there is either an internship or practicum for Maryland teachers or for teachers who are seeking the Maryland endorsement as an instructional leader, or an elective as the final course for those who are not seeking that Maryland endorsement. The required courses are a Math Foundations course, which I am really looking forward to teaching in the fall. There's an advanced methods course in elementary STEM classrooms, and the instructional STEM leadership and professional development in elementary school setting, which those last two courses Dr. Donaldson teaches. So the Math Foundations course really looks at the content knowledge that is foundational to elementary school mathematics. And we look at algebra, we look at number and operations, measurement, statistics, and probability at the early elementary level in those courses. And we examine connections to topics across the curriculum, as well as a vertical articulation into the middle schools. And that is taken up again in the advanced math course, if you are in the math specialization. The advanced methods course is really predicated on having had some either teaching or initial methods courses. And it engages the participants in thinking about how to enhance their instruction through the use of technology, problem-based learning, and student-centered instructional strategies. Students in the course learn to create an integrated and inclusive, equitable STEM environment. And as you heard from Dr. Donaldson, a lot of our work does focus on equity within STEM classrooms. And then finally, we develop skills essential to the STEM learning environment, where students learn how to integrate the content across these areas. In the Instructional STEM Leadership course, students are challenged to work with teachers in their building as they create a project to work with them in supporting the teachers in their building to engage in active learning within mathematics and STEM. We explore data-driven design to integrate STEM content, and we examine strategies for developing a constructive, collaborative approach to supporting STEM teachers to improve student learning. There's a lot that we know about professional development within the literature, and this literature has been infused within this course so that a leader within a district or a school has the background knowledge, the research backing to really provide powerful professional development. As we know, a lot of professional development is one-shot deals. And so we really push students to think about professional development as a long-term endeavor across either a year or multiple years as they work with teachers in their building. In the STEM specialization, you choose the physical science course. That's not a choice, and either the Earth and Space course or the Life Science course. And each of these courses I find very fascinating because they really engage students in the science learning. The person that created the Earth and Space Science course has worked for NASA for many, many years. And so she has brought into that course a lot of the work that she did at NASA. Similarly, the physical science course is taught by an experienced physical science teacher who has, I actually have known for a very long time, and has engaged students in physical science, mostly in the online context. So that's an interesting aspect of that course. In the math specialization course, students take the algebra and geometry thinking course, because algebraic thinking in the elementary school is really important to getting students ready for that gatekeeping course of algebra in the upper elementary or high school. And so this is really important work that elementary teachers are doing. It's foundational to a lot of what students do later on in their schooling. And so we thought it was important to separate that out as a separate course. And then the advanced topics course really continues the work of the Math Foundations course, but continues those topics into the upper elementary, the grades 3, 4, 5, 6 area. Finally, there's an option. If you are a Maryland teacher and you're seeking endorsement, you would do a practicum. In the practicum, you work with teachers in your building in a professional development setting and engage them and think about the work that you've done over the semester to support their teaching. A lot of the readings in this course are around coaching and how to support elementary teachers to engage their students in more powerful classroom contexts. Or you could take an elective, and some of the electives that are available would be effective leadership or the technology leadership course for school improvement. We also have the opportunity for students to take a course in online teaching in the K-12 setting. Another new course that I'm very excited about is in computational thinking. And so computational thinking is relative to problem solving and how do we deconstruct problems in order to be able to think about them well, and it relates to computer science as well. Here's another quote from another graduate from the program. The Mathematics Instructional Leader Certificate has helped me to be a more formal resource to my colleagues. The coursework directly applies to my day-to-day teaching, what I'm doing in my classroom, as well as how I collaborate with different teachers. So both of these individuals who we interviewed after their program spoke about the applicability of the work that they did within this program, not only in their own teaching, but in their work to support other teachers. So upon successful completion of all 6 courses, students receive a graduate certificate from Johns Hopkins University. And as I've said a couple of times, Maryland students may apply for the state endorsement. Also, there are some scholarship opportunities for these programs. And now I'll turn it over to Sion.
Thank you, Dr. Pei. That was a really great presentation. So now we're going to continue by going over the application requirements. So applicants must submit a completed application, which can be found on our website. Please keep in mind the application fee is $80. We need official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions that you have attended. So even if you did not receive a degree, we are still asking for official transcripts. And then in addition to the official transcripts, essay, you will be able to find information on the essay on our website. A current updated resume with your any academic, professional, leadership, research experiences, 2 letters of recommendation, a combination of both from a supervisor, professional supervisor, and also either from undergraduate or graduate faculty member who can speak on behalf of, again, your performance for grad school. And then just keep in mind, there is no GRE required for this program. And just a standard admission requirement, prerequisites for this program. Please keep in mind that for standard admission requirement, you will need to complete a bachelor's degree in education or a closely related field from a regionally or national accredited institution. Also, applicant must have professional experience teaching mathematics or science in elementary, middle, or secondary schools. And also applicants, if you're interested in applying for the Maryland State Mathematics or STEM Instructional Leader endorsement, you must have a minimum of 2 years of teaching experience. And of course, currently employed as a teacher or other educational professional working in the Pre-K-6 school or educational setting. There are a few additional steps you need to take in order to complete the application process if you are an international student. You must submit a TOEFL or IELTS score. And if your degree was completed outside of the US, you will need to complete a course-by-course evaluation. Additional information can be found on our school's website. The tuition for the next academic school year is $882 per credit for online classes and a $15 per credit technology fee. Please note additional fees will apply and are charged separately from tuition. We do encourage you to view our tuition and fees page on our website for the most up-to-date information about tuition and fees. And if you're interested in applying for financial aid, we strongly encourage you to apply for financial aid when you start the application. Please visit our website if you have any questions relating to financial aid. And we do have some very limited scholarships for those who are, and these are need-based for those who are interested in these scholarships. And if you have any questions relating to your applications or admissions related, please contact Tanya McMillan for the, again, and this is the email address, and then Liesl McNeil, Camila Mika Sims for the academic related. And of course, Dr. Pape is always, available, and we will provide his email address in the chat box at the end of the presentation. At this time, we will be taking questions, so feel free to, and Dr. Pape, I know you are, you said that for those who are interested in turning on your videos and just asking your questions, feel free to do that. Take yourself off on mute or typing your questions in the chat box. That works for us as well. It looks like we do have a question. Kirsten, I see your hand just nodding, saying no question.
No
So
questions.
that you joined us. First of all, how are you doing? Do you have any questions for us?
I have also chatted in my email address. I'd be happy to make a separate appointment with you and have a Zoom session to have a conversation about the program even in more depth.
Mm-hmm. And some frequently asked questions that we get about this program. The first question is, I have been out of school for a while, so can my second letter of recommendation, can that be a professional reference? And the answer is yes. We do accept 2 professional references if you are not able to find someone from undergraduate or graduate studies. And then the next question we frequently get, especially since this is an online question, and Dr. Pape, if you can kind of speak about this regards to what is, since it is an online program, in terms of the online collaboration, working with other students, what does that look like?
So that can be either synchronous or asynchronous. Oftentimes students will, if they have a group project to do, they will go off on their own and they will use, Google or some other way of meeting, Zoom, free account, and they meet synchronously together and work on some projects. But a lot of our, even just within the session, the discussions are very interactive. So you're asked to post, for example, an initial comment and then follow up. And it's amazing to me how that discussion evolves. I've been teaching online for quite a number of years, and it was always a thought that perhaps community would not be built. But as I said earlier, students really get to know each other. Most students stay in the courses together. They are small groups of students, so they get to know each other really well. And as that one quote showed us, Amber spoke a lot about the community that she felt that she was part of now that she had taken the certificate.
Thank you, Dr. Pape. And we also have students who work full-time and then taking classes at the same time. Any advice or, you know, maybe some kind of guidance in regards to how many hours they should expect to, you know, spend on the coursework per week?
So I estimate about 10 hours per week per course between the activities, the readings, and, you know, so homework. If you think about a regular course, you're in class 3 hours a week. And so it's about 1.5 times that outside of the course. So that's pretty typical for an online course. But one of the things I think is important about this is that a lot of times you're engaged with your students that you are teaching as well. If you aren't presently teaching students, maybe you're an administrator, there are other options within the course. I think the faculty is very willing to work with students in terms of the different activities that they do in order to engage the learning, even if they don't have students within their classes. So for example, in the summer classes, we don't obviously have students who you might be working with, and therefore you do work with other students in the class, or you just do it at home, either with family or people that you can engage. With all the homeschooling going on these days, I think students found that helpful over the spring.
All right. So it looks like we don't have any other questions. And of course, you know, we are here available. If you have any questions, especially for the admissions office, more than happy to have a one-on-one chat with you. Dr. Pape is obviously available to chat with you. And thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you, Dr. Pape, for a wonderful presentation today.
Thank you.